For over 2 years, Russia has been waging war against Ukraine. This is the largest armed conflict since World War II, involving two global powers. On one side, there's Russia with all its military might, supported by China and Iran. Ukraine's army is much weaker than Russia's, but NATO countries, including the US, have supplied it with a vast amount of modern military equipment and ammunition. Additionally, the US and its allies have sent numerous military instructors to Ukraine. In this video, we will examine modern weaponry that has lost its effectiveness in contemporary warfare. Attack aircraft and helicopters. Local armed conflicts in Africa and the Middle East have shown that attack aircraft are very formidable against opponents without modern air defense systems. In the Ukrainian conflict, both sides are equipped with advanced air defense systems. From the first days of the war, it became clear that attack helicopters and aircraft could be used only in a very limited capacity due to the risk of being shot down. Instead, both sides are actively using strike drones. They carry a much smaller combat charge, but they have the advantage of being much cheaper and can be used in huge scale. The soldiers can launch hundreds of such drones at a time. A single drone costs tens to hundreds of times less than an attack helicopter. Training a drone operator is much simpler and cheaper than training a military pilot. Additionally, unlike pilots, drone operators do not risk their lives if the aircraft is destroyed. Towed artillery. Recently, artillery was justifiably called the god of war. An artillery crew could stay in one place and rain fire on the enemy from several kilometers away, with the main problem being a shortage of ammunition. However, now reconnaissance drones easily detect artillery positions, relay coordinates to command centers, and within minutes, kamikaze drones like the Russian Lancet or the American Switchblade destroy the howitzers. Now, artillery's primary task is its own safety. It needs to quickly take a position, fire a few shots, and then move and hide. Towed artillery is too slow for these tasks. Self-propelled artillery units, such as the American Paladin, the French Caesar, or the Russian Coalition, are much better suited for these tasks. GPS-guided missiles and shells. In the early months of the war, American HIMARS missile systems, Excalibur shells, and JDAM bombs showed remarkable effectiveness. These munitions use GPS guidance, making them highly accurate. However, the Russian army began to widely use electronic warfare systems. These systems jam satellite signals over many kilometers, rendering the expensive munitions almost useless against the Russian army. Tanks. Tanks have always been considered a formidable weapon capable of changing the course of battle. When used properly, they remain very powerful and effective. Why are they on this list? Because of their cost. A modern tank is very expensive. Even the relatively cheap Russian T-90 costs about $4 million. Meanwhile, the American Abrams costs over $6 million, and the German Leopard can cost up to $10 million. A kamikaze drone costs approximately 100 times less. As experience shows, these drones easily destroy tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and other expensive military equipment. On the other hand, infantry cannot carry out combat tasks without the support of mobile, heavily armed vehicles. So far, nothing is better suited for these tasks than tanks. Therefore, we already see tanks being equipped with drone defenses. Sometimes this looks ridiculous, but in war, effectiveness is more important than stylish design. Long-range air defense systems. While modern tanks are expensive, modern air defense systems are extremely expensive. And this is their main problem. Since the early months of the war, Russia has been using Iranian-made Shahed kamikaze drones. These drones carry 40 kilograms of explosives and can fly over 2,000 kilometers in reality. For any modern air defense system, they are easy targets. The problem is that the cheapest missile from the Iris-T system costs $400,000, and the cheapest missile from the Patriot system costs at least $2 million. A Shahed costs $20,000. Considering that Russia launches dozens of these drones daily, shooting them down with the Patriot air defense system is too expensive. The second problem concerns the mobility of air defense systems. Both sides actively hunt enemy air defense systems using bait tactics. First, they launch a cruise missile or an unmanned aerial vehicle and wait for the air defense missiles to be launched. A reconnaissance drone detects the launch coordinates, and within minutes, a supersonic ballistic missile hits that location. If the air defense system cannot change location within a few minutes, it risks being destroyed. In conclusion, we want to say that there is no absolutely effective or absolutely ineffective weapon. Much depends on where the weapon is used and who uses it. In the hands of a professional, even a stool can be dangerous. In the next video, we will look at types of weapons that unexpectedly turned out to be effective in modern combat conditions. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the upcoming videos.